Hello friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some succulents that I have inside of my home that do really well for me in my home. And these can do really well inside of an office setting, home office, living room, anywhere you care to put them. So let me show you what I believe are some of the best succulents to have inside of your home. Okay friends, the first plant succulent that I'm going to share with you as far as being one of the best to have in your home, in your office space, is the Jade Crassula. And this beauty here I got at Ikea. You probably saw my Ikea shop with me, and this was in a 6-inch pot, and I got it for $7.99 at Ikea. And I put it in this 6-inch terracotta pot. And this jade is one of the best ones to have inside your home. Easiest succulents to have inside your home. It can do well in medium light. I wouldn't necessarily put it in very low light because it won't really grow very much at that point, but medium to higher indirect light near a window does really well. This would do well in an office space with fluorescent lighting. I do need to clean it up a little bit. You can see some of the hard water stains on some of the leaves, so I am gonna clean it up a bit and give it a nice shine. But unfortunately, you know, that's what happens when you pick up a plant from a nursery, or, you know, they water right overhead and not necessarily thinking about the individual plant, just, you know, how many plants they have to water. So the Jade Crassula is, again, excellent succulent to have in your home, very easy, have in your office space. The variegated version of this I probably would not recommend because the variegated version needs much more direct light, or indirect sunlight, higher indirect sunlight. So if you do have a window that you can put the variegated version of this in, that will receive a higher indirect light, then you can have that one too. But this one will do well in just about almost any light situation, perhaps except low light. Haworthias are an excellent succulent to have in your home. Very easy to grow inside. I think they probably even do better inside than they may out in the sun. I have 3 Haworthias inside of my home. This one here is the Haworthia Limifolia, or the fairy washboard. I've had this one for a while. I got it from Mountain Crest Gardens. I'm not sure if they still have it on their website, but I'll leave a link down below where you can get one. Haworthias, the great thing about them is that they stay compact. So if you want something that will stay compact, this is Haworthia viscosa. Really unique growth pattern to it. So if you want something that will stay compact, I think Haworthias are wonderful for that. This one I just got at Ikea also, and it's, you know, Ikea is great for plants, but all that they put on the pot was Haworthia. So I had to do some digging and Googling some images. So I found out that is, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, friends, the Haworthia glabrata. And it does have little bumps on it. It looks smooth when you just simply look at it because of the sheen on the leaves, but those little white dots, they're actual little bumps on it. And from the research I did and looking around at different websites, I believe it is the Haworthia glabrata. But again, Haworthias are a great family of succulents to have in your home or office space. Don't need very much light. Medium to high indirect light, fluorescent lighting will do. And again, they stay compact, so you don't have to worry about it getting out of control and growing too much. Now this next one here is a Gasteria Little Warty. And you may not have seen it or heard of it, but Gasterias are actually another family of succulents that you can have inside, that do well inside. So you can have them in your home or office space. And this is a little warty. I've had this for almost 2 years now, and it was just this clump right here. It's given off all of these pups on the side here. So it's done a lot of growing. I've had it outside and I've had it inside. This past few months it's been inside, but I had it out on my patio for quite a while too, and it did perfectly fine out there, as will all of these succulents that I'm showing you today. But this is giving you some ideas of what succulents you can have inside if you want to bring some succulent plants into your office space, into your home. But this Gasteria Little Warty is really unique plant. It's rough. The leaves are very rough and thick, so it's not like a soft succulent like an Euphorbia or a Jade plant. This is very rough texture, but unique structure to it. Definitely a conversation starter if you have this in your office space. And that's Gasteria Little Warty. Now here's one that you may not think you can bring inside and have it do well inside, but it can. This is a Euphorbia sticks on fire, sometimes known as a pencil cactus. This is a cutting I did of the one I have out in my patio, but this will do well inside in a medium to high indirect light. It will not get the orange or yellow that it would outside because it's not indirect light, but it's a great piece to have, a great succulent to have. It's got, you know, that unique architectural look to it, and it will just be all green instead of having any type of color to it, and it can grow quite tall too. This is just a little cutting I have of the larger one, but if you give it some time, this can grow quite tall and become the statement plant inside of your home, and very unique. So again, it will only be green. It won't have the yellow or orange coloring to it like it would outside. This is the Burroughs Tale, friends. This is probably one of the best hanging plants, hanging succulents to have in your home. And I'm not going to take it down because it is so fidgety that, you know, really just upon touching it, those little leaves could fall off. But it's hanging here in my north-facing window, and it does well with this bright indirect light. It's grown quite a bit since I've gotten it. This was I believe a Home Depot find, and it does fantastic here, really. Okay, let me give you 4 tips that I follow to help keep these succulents healthy. Tip number 1 is I pot them in a terracotta pot with a hole. It's really important if you're going to have succulents inside of your home to give them a pot that's going to breathe, one, and that will help release any excess water with a drainage hole. So terracotta pot with a hole is the best starting point for you. Second tip would be soil. I use a cactus soil, but I do add perlite to it, and I find that that's the best recipe for me. The perlite just gives it more drainage. You can use pumice if you have it available in your neighborhood nursery. I'm not able to find that, but perlite is easily accessible to me. So that's cactus soil, and I add perlite. Tip number 3 is watering. I do water my inside succulents less than I do the ones out of my patio. Even in the summertime, I may water my outside ones in the summertime every 3 or 4 days, but inside I may only do it every 7 to 10 days, just simply because the water evaporates less inside of your home or your office than it would outside, so you're going to water less, and even less in the wintertime. Right now I'm watering these in the wintertime probably every 2 to 3 weeks, and they do just fine. So remember to water less when you have them inside. And the last tip number 4, is light. You want indirect light. None of these succulents really, except maybe for this pencil cactus, will do well in direct hot sun. So you want it in, they'll do well in medium to high indirect light. So for instance, in an office setting, fluorescent lighting, you can leave them in the wintertime when the days are really short, put them under a grow light. Some of them I do have under a grow light in the wintertime. Just simply because it can get so dark in the apartment. But here in front of this patio window, they do well with the bright indirect light. So those are the 4 tips, friends, that I would recommend to you to have your succulents do well inside. I hope you enjoyed this, friends, and it encourages you to bring your succulents indoors and try to grow them indoors, or perhaps take them to your office setting and not be afraid of them. There's just have to treat them a little bit differently than if they were outside. Thanks so much, friends, for visiting with me today. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below if you have succulents inside and if you have had luck with them. Are you doing it a little bit differently than I am? Thanks so much for visiting with me today, friends. Have a blessed day.